Hey guys, it's Miss Walker. I hope y'all are having a great day today. If you haven't watched our video from last Thursday, it would be week 14, day 4. I would suggest that you go back and start there because what we talked about that day, it was the problems with the haircutting salon and the bathtub draining. It's very important foundational stuff for understanding what slope and y-intercept mean. So make sure that you get that foundation before you start trying to just put it into problems. Okay, so if you are ready to go, you've done the other, let's get started. I put this stuff on the first slide so that you can come back as like a starting point if you kind of like forget what the equation is or if you just need a little refresher. This is just kind of notes for you, okay? So we have M and B. Those are the parts that are going to change in our equation. That is, M is your slope, and that is the changing rate. So for example, the changing rate in the haircutting problem was $16. It cost $16 for every haircut. So that was the rate that was changing throughout the problem. Every haircut, as it goes on the graph, your profit is going up. B is going to represent your y-intercept, which is a starting point. So in the haircut problem, our y-intercept was negative 200, and that represented where the business started at 0 haircuts. She had to pay money before she could start cutting people's hair, right? She had to have electricity, water, chairs, mirrors, all those things, okay? So that's your starting point. So this format kind of serves as your almost like a puzzle where you can input your slope and your y-intercept. So it's going to be the same on both. Y equals mx, and I like to say plus or minus b. Now, in your formula chart, you just get plus b. But to me, your y-intercept can also be negative, so it can be minus b also. So when I say plus or minus, that's what I mean. Plus or minus b. So y equals, here on number 1, your slope is negative 2. Your y-intercept is positive 5. That's it. That's my equation right there. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. Okay, number 2, your slope is 3/4. Your y-intercept is negative 3. So my equation is y equals 3/4 x minus 3. Okay, those are easy enough because they just give us the information. Now, today is the first day where we are actually going to solve for slope. Like, how do you find slope? Slope is your rise over run. And we kind of have talked about this in here just a little bit. Your rise over run, but it's your change in your y values, which is, here's your y. It's your change in y, your up and down, your rise, divided by your change in x values, which is your run. So from this point, let me get a marker pen. It would take me, if I want to rise, it will take me 4 points to rise up to this, to be even with this point. It's going to take me 3 points to run over to get to that point. So my rise is plus 4. My run is plus 3. So my slope is 4 over 3. Let's look at this slope. Usually when you hear the word rise, you think of going up, but rise can also be negative in these problems. My rise here is -2, and my run is +4. So my slope is -2/4. I could change those to decimals if I want to, but today I'm not that worried about it. I'm more worried about you understanding how to calculate that slope. Now, y-intercept is my starting point. It's where x equals 0. It's where your line is crossing this y-axis. So I'm going to highlight this point in yellow. This is my y-intercept, where my line and my y-axis are intercepting. Over here, my line and my y-axis, they cross each other right there. That's my y-intercept. So over here, my y-intercept is -5. On number 4, my y-intercept is 1. So now, just like the last two problems, they've given us the information. Now we just plug it into that formula. So y equals 4/3 x minus 5. Y equals -2/4 x plus 1. Okay. I want you to practice doing 5 and 6 on your own. The only thing I am going to help you with on number 6, they don't give you the 2 points. So you can't do your rise and your run without starting with 2 points that are exactly where the line crosses. Now, like, see this? That's not exactly where 2 lines cross. I need to pick something like this, and you just pick any 2 of these and you solve for that rise over run. The last thing we're going to look at today, we actually didn't get to number 5 and 6 in class, so don't do that yet. But I want you to think of some real-world examples of positive and negative slope and positive and negative y-intercept. I am going to start by just giving you some examples from our work from week 14, day 4. I keep referring back to that because that lesson is just so good for you to understand what slope is and what y-intercept is. So a real-world example of positive slope is profit from cutting hair. A negative slope would be like draining the water out of a bathtub. So that's those constant changes that are going either down or up over time, over haircuts, those kind of things. Okay. What are some real-world examples of positive y-intercept? So where something is starting. That would be like a full bathtub. Now, a negative y-intercept, a lot of people said, oh, an empty bathtub. The problem is that level is 0, right? It's not below the bathtub. It's just 0. So be careful not to put anything like that on here where something is starting at 0. That would just be a proportional relationship. These relationships are not proportional. They do not start at 0, 0. This would be something that at 0 x value, you're starting below 0. So for example, like with the hair salon, there were startup costs for the business. So think of something that start below 0. It could be temperature. It could be depth in the ocean. So any of those things, okay, go with that. I want you to come up with at least one more example for each one of these, and then you can turn in your work. I hope you'll have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.